vibes. No bad vibes, don't come around with that energy. They once right, they more family than some kin to me. They show me love, still watch out for my enemies. Leveled up to the max, but I ain't in my peak. Money in the world in my hands, 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 money in the world in my hands.
Oh my goodness! I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, show it like what can I say? I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, show it like what can I say? I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, show it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, show it like what more can I say? I ain't gotta say much. You shouldn't have to say much. Stay down so you came up, then came down and stayed up all night to the morning. Baggy eyes and you yawning, but the money keeps on calling, and we ain't about to ignore it, no. You go, you go, you go, till you got anything, then you some more. Like you on a hockey team, hit them goals. Money coming fast while you sipping slow. And me, I'm so past words, I just hit the code. Nothing funny, being broke is a joke. Get into it like it's all a nigga know. Mad I'm busy, but matter if I was broke. Yeah. And I show, so I ain't gotta say much. And you shouldn't have to say much. I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, so it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, so it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing, everything they say you can't. You got it going your way, so it like what more can I say?
All right. Said I was gonna get into this letter. I had a couple people ask me. I don't think they was trying to be funny, but the way they've been asking sounded kind of funny. But from what they're asking is, do the utility companies owe us some money? Everybody owe us money. That's the problem. So, there is a way to get your money back in due time. It's a long process, as I always say. So, let me pull up this. I was going to go through the laws and whatnot, but I really do not. Which one is it? I don't think I have the patience for that today. So, I'm going to go through this. I want to make sure I got it on full screen. Because last time I couldn't see the full screen. Seems how they let you do your own shit. All right, that looks better. As a matter of fact, you know what? Full screen. Okay. So this letter is a letter. I had one previously. A smaller one that did not give all facts, all laws, but this one is even better. This one is to me, a little more scarier. I would send this letter to your utility company CEO, their indentured trustee, the CFO, to the payment center, wherever you would send your payments to. I would send it to any representative of the company of the utility company. And a lot of us have the assholes, either Kansas Gas, One Gas, or Evergy, KCPL, KC, what's it called? KCPNL or KCPL, Kansas City Power and Light, Evergy, whichever one you want to fucking call it. Yeah, they're pretty fucking stubborn. Apparently, there's quite a few other utility companies around the country who have been quite stubborn to this letter and this process. So
Happy kids.
um
Happy kids.
what I say is, if they deny it or ignore your letter, just keep sending them shit. Because they're gonna have to get it. They're gonna have to understand and start taking this shit to heart, because it is real and you do have rights as a consumer. So go ahead and read some of this. Notice and warning to utility companies. Notice and warning to every and all utility company or companies for embezzlement, theft by deception, and extortion, failing to discharge all debts pursuant to 73rd Congress, Session 1, Chapters 48 and 49, June 5th and the 6th of 1933. HJR, which is House Joint Resolution 192, HR, which is House Resolution 1491, Public Law 148, Statute 1, Public Law 10, Chapter 48, Statute 112, Public Law 73-10, 40, Statute 411, Trading with the Enemy Act, which is also TWEA. This is October 6, 1917, but not limited to. Since the House joint, since I can't do that. Oh, yes, that's so much better. Okay. Since House Joint Resolution 192, HJR 192, Public Law 7310, was passed in 1933, we have only had debt, because all property and gold was seized by the government as collateral in the bankruptcy of the United States. They didn't teach us laws in school, so we did not know that the United States was bankrupt. When I say bankrupt, they broke. We, as in us, all of us citizens, we got money, but the country does not. So, yes, the country is bankrupt, always has been. Hell, the country went bankrupt several times, which is why the economy collapses so much. The country just continues to go bankrupt because they don't know how to fucking manage money. Let's see. Bankrupt. Okay. In 1863, the first Bank Act was passed. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, or the OCC. The comptroller is very important to know. It's a U.S. federal agency established by the National Currency Act of 1863 and serves to charter, regulate, and supervise all national banks and the federal branches and agencies of the foreign banks in the United States. Now, we all know that all banks in the United States are foreign because the United States is in that small radius up there, up east in the Washington, Virginia, Maryland area, where all those states connect. And then you can also say New York is fucking the United States too, but they're just like the big controller. They actually got more pull than Washington. So yeah, when it comes money wise, when we're talking finances, New York is the epicenter, and the United States is up there next to it. So don't ever get confused on where the United States really is located, because it's not where you live, unless you live up there. So yes, your banks are foreign. The OCC was created by Abraham Lincoln to fund the American Civil War, but was later transformed into a regulatory agency to instill confidence in the national banking system and protect consumers from misleading business practices. The Libra Code, or the General Order 100, was also created by Abraham Lincoln in 1863. The National Bank Act, Chapter 58, 12, Statute 665, February 25th, 1863, was a United States federal law law that established a system of national charters for banks. The United States national banks, it encouraged development of a national currency based on bank holdings of the U.S. Treasury securities. The so-called national banknotes, which is what those are. It also established the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency as part of the Department of the Treasury. This was to establish a national security holding body for the existence of the monetary policy of the state. The act, together with Abraham Lincoln's issuance of greenbacks, raised money for federal government in the American Civil War by enticing banks to buy federal bonds and taxing state bank issue currency out of existence. The law proved defective and was replaced by the National Bank Act of 1864. The money was used to fund the Union Army in the fight against the Confederacy. This authorized the OCC to examine and regulate nationally chartered banks. The above, from what I just read, I'm just saying this, but I'm also reading. But from what I read above, and the above only partially begins to include the historical records of and other acts of Congress that proves the U.S. bankruptcy of 1933, and there is no money. Only credit the American people are the creditors. I've said this numerous times. We ain't got no money. Ain't no fucking real money. The little green stuff, those are Federal Reserve notes. Those are what actually drives up the public debt. So the more money that we touch, the more money we deposit, the more money we spend. The green money is what is driving up the debt, because we only operate on credit, and if they're not paying the debt with the credit like they're supposed to, and they came and brought this whole fake green money in, so for us to use, it absolutely does nothing but drives up the public debt, which is why our debt ceiling continues to raise every fucking year, and we, continuously have to keep trying to budget when you shouldn't have to budget if you was doing shit right in the beginning and paying off the public debt like you're supposed to as a government. Then we wouldn't have these problems. All utilities companies normally have been sending their customers dividends.
Did you take over the water?
But hold on. Yeah. Have to tell this kid, don't be coming up to no adult like that. You done lost your mind. Okay. So again, all the utility companies normally have been sending their customers, which are us, dividends, but in fact, making each recipient believe that dividend was an invoice for services provided by the utilities companies. And when I say dividends, I'm talking about every month when we get those stupid little bills in the mail. If you're not paperless at this point, and if you are paperless, you might want to get off of paperless, because that's the whole purpose. They want us to basically start using the electronic bills and shit like that, so that we don't catch on to any of this. Here, Amari. So those dividends, those little statements that we're getting are slash bills. That's what they mean by dividends. Or excuse me, or invoice, whatever, however they want to put it. We know what it is now. The utility companies have mailed through the U.S. mail an intentional misrepresentation of facts unfair business practices, and each utility company and agents thereof have knowingly and forethought and malice created a fraudulent debt, defrauding the creditor, which is you, that is the recipient of said dividends, that the utilities companies lead the recipient to believe through deception is an invoice slash bill slash billing statement. And from what I'm reading, you can actually, and I'm still reading on this, on the proper way, but these can also be the monthly statements you get in the mail can also be deposited into a securities account. So I'm actually still trying to figure out exactly how that works. I think I'm close, so when I get close, I'll let whomever know. But those monthly statements, you can, for one, you can deposit into a bank or just some securities account with a broker or an investment firm or whoever you would like to use securities wise. There is a way that those monthly statements can be deposited so that they are accounted for on your on your credit account. Excuse me. All utility companies have created a convertible and fraudulent debt. And it says in parentheses, see analysis of a country embezzled. I have read that. It's not a long, thick book. If you want a copy of it, I can email it. Every and all utility companies have failed to pay off any of the public debt, but rather unlawfully redirecting ill-gotten gains into private corporate accounts through embezzlement, theft by deception, fraudulent conversion, and in violation to all incorporated in entirety laws established through and as a result of the U.S. bankruptcy of 1933, wherein there is no money, only banknotes, which are but only a promise to pay. A lot of people who are getting into the Forex and crypto and all of that stuff, y'all should know about some of this shit, because it all ties in. All this little financial stuff, it all ties in. It's all make believe. You know, we all know money is just fucking make believe. It's materialistic. So there's a lot of y'all have to know this. I mean, or you wouldn't unless you just invest, or you got somebody doing it for you. And if you got somebody doing it for you, trust and believe they making extra money off of your ass, off of your small investments. They making probably hundreds of thousands or probably millions off of your $100 investment. That's how bad this shit is. Thus all debts are to be discharged as agreed. But the utilities companies and banks, through their greed, have not discharged any debt, fraudulently making the utility customer deeper in debt by utilities companies' use of banknotes or promissory notes that the utilities companies add to the public debt side of the books rather than discharging the debts as stipulated in public laws, House resolutions, and House joint resolutions. And that's just like I said. The public debt is supposed to be paid by the United States, and when they created the money, they basically fucked everything up and have not been paying the fucking public's debt as what they were supposed to. That was their agreement when they agreed to give all of our assets and future assets to the big banks, the big guys. They were supposed to pay the public's debt so that we don't go through shit like this, so that the country doesn't go through shit like this. How many times have we gone into debt? How many times have we had to raise the debt ceiling was raised? How many times did they have to budget and try to avert a government shutdown? Way too many times. Why? For the simple fact that they just have not been discharging the public debt. So that's one reason why shit is so fucked up. Additionally, the alleged invoices sent to every recipient is a dividend and or a coupon to the recipients. The utilities companies all know this to be a fact. That's why they be arguing. The comptroller of the currency, also knows all of the above to the irrefutable facts, but is acting as a money laundering agency by, for, through the privately owned Federal Reserve in all 50 states of the Union. The comptroller of the currency at county, state, and federal level all know the incorporated documents and testimony to be true, but have yet to discharge any of the public debt. Therefore, have misappropriated funds through embezzlement by theft and deception, obtaining money through false pretenses, extortion, and other predicate acts since the date of the comptroller of the currency inception of 1863. They be stealing. All utility companies, which are private for-profit corporations, regardless of location, are knowingly participating in the fraud and Ponzi scheme with the intent to fraudulently convert this and every other country's wealth into private industry accounts by fraudulent conveyance, embezzlement, and theft by deception, creating fraudulent debts, Ponzi scheme, and fraud through the U.S. mail, just for starters. And if you don't know that every time they send you a bill in the mail, or anybody sends you anything, you're basically, if they accept it, that's basically a contract. If I send a letter to Discover Card, knowing damn well I ain't got no account with Discover. I send a letter to Discover Card because I got some questions, or just anything that and they get that letter. I just basically sent them this option to contract, and when they received it and they signed for it or whatever the case may be, they just opened a new contract with me. So I would technically be in control of that contract. Now, for me, I haven't been doing this all the time, like I should. I think I've been kind of picking and choosing due to the fact that some of my bills I have been sending off to the IRS and stuff like that for them to be credited. But you can also, if they send you a bill in the mail, just write on the bill in red writing. I just write, I don't wish the contract with you, and put it back in the mail. I put return to sender. I do not wish the contract with you, and I put it back in the mailbox. Or when I go get it from the PO, I take it to the post office and drop it in the box. So, yeah, everything is about contracts. Contract. That's why they're trying to stop this paper shit. But when they stop the paper shit, which it's going to be extremely hard, I wonder what the next move is going to be. Every judge and every attorney in America, especially those who hold positions with several direct connections into the utilities companies, bank accounts, and acting as attorneys for the banks, most presumably in all other countries as well, since they all get their instructions from England. The same place all the banks get their instructions from the controller of the currency headquarters in London, England. I wonder how this shit is going now that the Queen is dead. Because I heard shit was shutting down in London. So if shit shuts down in London, I know I'm going off subject. If shit shuts down in London or in London, England area, and things have to get transferred to maybe like say Switzerland, because Switzerland is the other place. Switzerland is the big place. So I wonder when it comes to the money, the International Money Fund. I wonder them in Puerto Rico. I wonder what is going to happen. I wonder what's going to happen. To England, what's going on? I even heard Buckingham Palace was completely empty. So let me get back on here. London, England, each knowing the above and incorporated to be true, since they are well versed on the U.S. bankruptcy of 1933 and that America still remains today in a state of emergency, as always, and operates under English law, though that also is supposed to be a well-kept secret. And I've been telling y'all that for a while. As long as we are in a state of emergency, they are able to control us, and that's just what it is. And we're going to stay under a state of emergency as long as we give them the power to do so. They making up all these bullshit ass lies, all these wars, all these sicknesses, these viruses, everything. All of the things that they keep throwing at us are going to keep us in a state of emergency, which gives them legally the right to control us. But if we were to say, hey, no, you know what? No, I'm tired of this shit. I don't want to be in a state of emergency. Fuck you. We about to run this shit our way. You know what, government? You can kiss our asses. We got this shit. Let us fucking do it. Let's see how it turns out. And we do that, and we can get out of a state of emergency, and we don't have to be under full control. But by law and legally, as long as we're in a state of emergency, they're allowed to control us. So this means there is no, I should yell it, is no money. It further means that since there's no money, Americans, trying to find my lighter, signatures are used as the credit to run this country. That in turn means that it is the American people whom are the creditors, not the debtors. As the banks and utilities companies would like everyone to believe. And I'm going to read it again. You know what? Let me do this right here. Let me see something real quick. Boom. So, I'm going to read that paragraph above it again, and then I'll read it. Every judge and every attorney in America, especially those who hold positions with several direct connections into the utilities companies, bank accounts, and acted as attorneys for the banks, most presumably in all other countries as well, since they all get their instructions from England. The same place that all the banks get their instructions through, the comptroller of the currency headquarters in London, England, each knowing the above and incorporated to be true, since they're well versed on the U.S. bankruptcy of 1933 and that America still remains to date in a state of emergency and operates under English law, though that also is supposed to be a well-kept secret. This means there is no money. It further means that since there is no money, Americans' signatures are used as the credit to run this country. Americans' signatures are used as the credit to run this country. That in turn means that it is the American people whom are the creditors, not the debtors, as the banks and utility companies would like everyone to believe. The utility companies have been operating with this knowledge with intent, forethought, and malice to commit the crimes mentioned herein, but not limited to. Due to the facts incorporated herein and entirely, all debts are to be charged off, including but not limited to every alleged utilities invoice, which each and all have actually been a dividend for which every utilities company embezzled payment through fraud, using extortion and other threats to discontinue service if payment is not made. These alleged invoices were dividends that every utilities company, using deceptive business practice, led the public to believe were debts owed, when it is a fact that it is the utilities companies who owe the American public all those fraudulently received ill-gotten gains, plus the interest, stocks, bonds, and other proceeds derived therefrom. All utility companies are now put on notice that all debts are to be charged off pursuant to a stipulated and incorporated herein acts as out. Facts assembled and presented. You will put your name on there without prejudice as man or woman. You'll put your name once again. You're always the authorized representative of your all caps. So you'll write your name normal. You're writing for the all caps and yourself, the natural man. All natural rights explicitly reserved. UCC 1-207, 2-207, 1-308, and 1-103.6. Whenever we start reading our laws, you guys, we will understand that we've been getting robbed. We have been getting robbed, and we will keep getting robbed until everybody starts waking up and paying attention and reading. As you can see. We've been getting robbed. So we gotta kind of get together again, put all these motherfuckers on notice, all these utility companies. It's not just utility companies, it's basically every company and everything that involves money, everything that involves you, your labor, your money, your livelihood, all of that. It's time for you to stop getting robbed, because if one of us getting robbed, we all getting robbed. And if ain't none of us getting robbed, if you not getting robbed, then none of us are not. We ain't getting robbed at all, because we all stuck together. I'm trying to get it out right, but shit, if a couple of us is gonna get robbed, I can say it like that. A couple of us getting robbed, and I guess we all fucking getting robbed, because we all just sitting down letting them rob us. But we all start standing the fuck up. Ain't nobody getting robbed. That solves a lot of other shit. That solves people being homeless. That solves niggas robbing other niggas and people getting killed for that it solves break-ins. Because guess what? I don't need to go in your house because I have my own things. I don't need to bother you because I got my own. Everybody, we have to work hard to live in general. So regardless, if we all in the same position, which they don't want us to be, we wouldn't have all these fucking problems. So if we are living in a world or a country where everything is based on credit, not money, not debt, credit, we would all be okay, because we all would have the same amount of unlimited credit. Do you know how prosperous this motherfucking world would be if we all was able to get our credit? Would nobody be wanting for nothing? You wouldn't have homeless people out here trying to steal for a fucking meal. You wouldn't have kids out here trying to steal for a box of cereal. You wouldn't have nobody out here doing anything because our never-ending credit would give us so many possibilities to do whatever it is that we needed to do to make the world go right. Everybody wants to put something into society. Everybody wants to make an impact. Everybody wants something that they did to be a part of society. But unfortunately, because we are being robbed, we don't have that right to just, everybody doesn't have that right to just, try to make the world great, or, give their part. And they always want to tell you, you have to do your part of society. Well, how the fuck am I supposed to give in my all when you taking from me? If you give me my all and let me, be my all and give it my all, then I can do that. But when you always got barriers in your way because, you being robbed, I mean, the fuck? That's just how I look at shit. I try to explain it my way because sometimes it can be a little easier for people to understand. But I just want everybody to wake up. Let's cut the bullshit. this will cut out a lot of people talking shit about everybody else, and everybody else can just fucking live. Because everybody, if we all should be doing good. There's just no reason we shouldn't. There's just no fucking reason at all. So I don't know. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And let's, get this shit right. Let's get this shit together and, like I say, get the bag. I don't give a fuck about the money. I just want my unlimited credit. Shit. You know how many businesses that I could have right now, how many lives I could be saving right now, but motherfuckers got my stuff. I'm trying to give it my all, and I can't do that. So, I gotta wake the fuck up so you can give it your all. Because I know it's something that you want to do. Shit, we all got shit we want to do, just can't fucking do the shit.
No bad vibes. No bad vibes. Don't come around with that energy. They once right, they more family than some kin to me. They show me love, still watch out for my enemies. Leveled up to the max, but I ain't in my peak. Money in the world in my hands. 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 Money in the world in my hands.
Oh my goodness!
I see you doing your thing. Everything they say you can't. You got it going your way. Show it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing. Everything they say you can't. You got it going your way. Show it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing. Everything they say you can't. You got it going your way. Show it like what more can I say? I see you doing your thing. Everything they say you can't. You got it going your way. Show it like what more can I say? I ain't gotta say much. You shouldn't have to say much. Stay down so you came up, then came down and stayed up all night till the morning. Baggy eyes and you yawning, but the money keeps on calling, and we ain't about to ignore it, no. You go, you go, you go, till you got anything, then you some more. Like you on a hockey team, hit them goals. Money coming fast while you sipping slow. And me, I'm so past words, I just hit the code. Nothing funny, being broke is a joke. Get into it like it's all a nigga know. Mad I'm busy, but matter if I was broke. Yeah. And I show, so I ain't gotta say much. And you shouldn't have to say much. I see you doing